Hey everybody, Mike here with Cactus Crawlers RC. Thanks for coming by and checking out the channel today. Well, I am back with my UTB18 that I just picked up, and I've got a couple of runs out of it already. I tried it out on the backyard course, and which I built for the 124 scale crawlers, and it's just a little bit too big for that. When I was going over the little bridge, it was knocking the logs off of it, and some of the harder obstacles for the 124s, this thing just tackles it way too easily. So I ended up taking it out and running it with my 1/10 Capra, and it definitely has potential. I'm pretty sure one of the first things people do is they probably, put a better motor and speed control in this thing, maybe even a brushless setup, and I probably would be doing something like that down the line. We'll see about that, but definitely another thing is the wheels and tires. They are okay for like a little bit above a toy grade crawler, but for some of those harder lines, it really needs to have a better tire and maybe something with a little bit more weight, because this thing just came off the rocks over and over and over again. So it would be really great to have some weight down low to keep it planted on those rocks and just give it a chance to do some serious crawling. So I can see why one of the first things that people do is they change out the wheels and tires, and I'm not going to be any different. So I think I have the perfect set of wheels and tires for this thing that I'm not using anymore. I was using on one of my other trucks, but that truck's just had some changes done to it, and the wheels and tires have just been sitting in the closet since then, and that is these JConcepts Tusks on these SSD stamped steel wheels, and they are class 1. So they're just maybe a little bit bigger than the stock wheels that come on the UTB18, and just a hair bit wider. So, but I still think that they're going to be a pretty good fit for this truck. So one thing is I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to pull out the scale, and I want to weigh what these tires are versus these tires, and let's see how much weight down low we're going to add to it. So the first thing to do is get these tires off of here, and we're going to do some weighing. Okay, so I've got the wheels and tires off, and these are really lightweight. They are glued onto the wheels. They are not true bead locks or anything. So yeah, it's very light, and it feels like there's not even foams in them. They are vented, but it does feel like there's not even a foam in there. Let's see what we have this weighing it at. So these are just a hair over 50 grams, 50.4. Let's compare it to the JConcepts on the SSD stamped steel wheels. So these are more than twice as heavy. These are 119.3 grams. So that is a lot more weight over this. However, I have these set up as the rear wheels. These are the front wheels. These have weights taped onto the inside ring of the wheel. And let's see what these guys are weighing in at. So these ones are at almost 200 grams, 196 grams even. So this wheel and tire setup is going to be just about 4 times as much as this one. And so I'm almost contemplating whether we need to take the weight out of this, because I'm wondering if that weight, all that weight, is really going to be pushing this little motor and ESC beyond what it's capable of handling. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and get these wheels and tires on the buggy and see how they look. Alright guys, here it is, the UTB18 with some different wheels and tires on there. Definitely should up the performance. So once again, these are the JConcepts Tusks, the class 1s on the SSD 1.9 stamped steel wheels. The circular pattern cut into them, sort of like Methods. And it definitely has a lot more weight to it now. And that front end is really heavy on here. So again, I'm contemplating whether I'm going to open these wheels back up and take the weights off of that barrel, because I think it's just might be too much for this little motor and ESC to handle. But yeah, as far as the way it looks, I think it looks awesome. Alright everybody, well, thanks for coming by and checking out this episode of Cactus Crawlers RC. Come back next time, I'll get some running footage of the UTB18 with the Tusks and the 1.9 SSD wheels, and we'll see y'all then.